the feds in there. I think, here's what I think. Here's my personal opinion. I think Donald Trump has a problem. I think this Epstein thing is not going away.
Absolutely.
I think this Epstein thing is not going away. And I think he wanted to do something big to catch headlines so that people wouldn't be talking about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell now has a work permit and she can leave prison. She's convicted for doing these things, teaching 14-year-old girls how to give him fellatio. She was convicted of these things in a court of law. So this is not even, I can't even say allegedly because she was convicted. Allegedly is if there's no proof, if you're guessing and you don't want to say anything wrong. But these are the things she was convicted for. Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased, logical conclusions. Today, I'm back again with friend of the channel, my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell, whom I'm now going to ask to introduce himself for those of you who don't, as of yet, know him. Dion.
Dion Powell, district leader in the Bronx Conservative Party, consultant, political operative, civic education and engagement specialist, all our wonderful people here in New York and beyond my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of how this game works. But I'm a Donald Trump apologist because he too is from New York.
Wow, a lot in common.
One of
Gemini's from New York. Hell, I'm from Queens with him. For your knowledge, this is for education and entertainment purposes only. I am not an expert in a lot of things. If I'm an expert in it or if there's some expertise, we'll point it out before we start talking. So let's get into this. Trump activated the military in DC. I wonder how that made it to the top. What does that mean? What does that mean? Would you like to use your political expertise to explain what it means that Trump activated the military in DC and, by the way, took over their police force?
Well, you have to keep in mind that the District of Columbia is not a state, so certain rules apply and don't apply to the situation. The President of the United States, we keep saying it, you're a veteran, Leo, thank you for your service. He has the ability, as a commander-in-chief, to activate the National Guard and other military branches. And as a result, he is of the belief that crime in DC, in which the nation's capital is horrible, especially after Elon Musk Doge's employees, big balls, got hurt during an alleged carjacking situation. So that's the reason why Mayor Bowser is not going hard the way they need her to, because there's a multi-million-dollar deal on the table for, unusual development project over there. And keep in mind, if I could share my screen again, my friend, I just want to give you the perspective of the residents of DC founded here on X, my friend. According to this brother's post here, it says, thanks, President Trump. I finally feel safe walking around our nation's capital again. Because of that, because of that, he isn't just making DC safe again, he's making America healthy again. No gangles of gangbangers in sight, no crime tragedies of criminals. Let's see what my brother here has to say.
Well, I'm glad
Donald Trump isn't just making D.C. safe again, he's making it healthy again, because I can finally go on my hot boy walks again. Because you want to know why I couldn't go on my hot boy walks before? Because I didn't know if I took a stroll, whether or not I would run into a gaggle of gangbangers, a cadre of criminals, or a youth who wanted to play patty cake with my forehead. But thanks to Donald Trump's leadership, I can finally go on these hot boy walks again. And look at me, I'm just walking around town, looking around. I'm the neighborhood watch today.
My friend, but
let a YN do something. I'm calling the feds.
In the city, because the city, we need all the protection that we can get in the city, because the city is really getting dangerous. A person like me at this age, I has to make sure to come home before sundown. We need all the protection that we can.
Full effect, but common sense. See the brilliant words? He says, don't believe the fake news hype. The normal people of DC love the safety and the new Trump administration. So that's my qualitative data. Less, right? Not opinion, like qualitative data, huh?
DC seems like it's not so bad. Let's take a look at the
Ask the residents that are black.
Sorry?
I say you should ask the residents that are black. So,
violent crime in the United States has gone up and down, but it appears to be down. Assault rate crime in the United States, it's slightly uptick. That's good because it was down. Oh, here are the numbers. Let me see. Overall, the following tables include violent crime rates and assault rates by state and offense. For more information on, I want to see the worst states. So let's
but DC is not directly. A state. Well, DC is not a state, and you need to maximize. But if I can show my information after this, I'll show you the crime rating cities of America. So you can't count DC as a state, my friend. We got to go by city data. So let's start there.
Okay, we'll do that. I will do that in 1 second. I might as well finish typing first. Oh, okay. Memphis once again tops the list with a violent crime rate nearly 6 times the national figure. Detroit and Baltimore Detroit and Baltimore also have rates more than triple the U.S. average. Washington, D.C. ranks 7th among the largest cities for violent crime, though it has decreased in recent years. So there are several cities, all in red states, that are worse than D.C., apparently. But we're targeting...
Well, that doesn't dispute the fact that it's horrible.
Well, what does stick out that, he's targeting D.C. and, it could be people. So it does stick out that Donald Trump has also stated he was going to go after other states. He didn't mention Detroit. He didn't mention any red states. The states he mentioned happened to be New York, California, Chicago, New Jersey. He said one other. All the states that he wants to put police in or put troops in, every one of them, without fail, are Democratic states. The crime rates in the higher states that would actually need more help, he doesn't want to touch. What other statistic stands out in the fact that Donald Trump has decided that he wants to do something about the crime rate in Washington, D.C.? Oh, wait. Could it be the fact that he pulled the funding for the Mr. Don't defund the police, pulled the funding for the police in D.C.? Is that something that he pulled the funding from the police in D.C. and yet their crime rate has still gone down? So his excuse for wanting to stick the feds in there, here's what I think. Here's my personal opinion. I think Donald Trump has a problem. I think this Epstein thing is not going away. And I think he wanted to do something big to catch headlines so that people wouldn't be talking about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell now has a work permit and she can leave prison. She was transferred after speaking to Todd Blanche, his personal attorney, to a minimum state facility, one of the sweetest deal that you can get in prison, an all-female, this is where you want a child molester, a female, a sexual predator at, a female prison, a camp where you could actually leave 12 hours a day, kind of like Epstein. It's kind of the same deal Epstein had. It's possible that for her testimony that Trump wasn't involved, she got a sweetheart deal. She got Queen for a day, which gave her impunity for anything that she gave up, so she can't be prosecuted for it now. She got transferred to a minimal security facility where she can't be, well, she doesn't have to worry about much of anything. It's basically a camp. In this facility, they literally work with the college next door in the community and have programs where she's going to be working with little girls of age, at least, where they try and reintroduce them into society in a positive way. This is not meant for people that have committed assault or predators like her. It wasn't meant for that. It was meant for lightweight people who had done really nothing wrong, or they had done something wrong, but not for violent offenders. They literally had to change the law in order to bring her there. It's going against everything that can be done legally. It's almost as if Donald Trump is hiding something. And now she has a work release. So he sends some troops into Washington and takes over the police to distract us, so we're not thinking about or trying to take away from the fact that he has to make this deal with Ghislaine work because he's afraid she's going to talk. But that's just a hypothesis. This sucks because you're saying some good stuff. I believe you was explaining that Big Balls from Doge, a high-profile Doge personnel, was involved with trying to help somebody out that was being carjacked, I believe. I don't have the article in front of me. And he interfered and he got hurt. So because, according to you, what you're saying, because this makes complete sense. Now I understand. Because one of the Doge personnel got hurt intervening in a crime, he sent in the military. That's the story. That's the story. This is what you want to co-sign. I just want to be sure. Not that somebody got killed, not that somebody got maimed, not even that somebody was hurt that badly. While Ghislaine Maxwell, this predator who assaulted children, is being let go on work release, he's sitting in the military because somebody got beat up. Is that the story? And I'm not supposed to believe the story is related and it's a distraction. I want all the listeners to know that Ghislaine Maxwell is on work release the same day or the day after he sent in the military, so that everybody's talking about DC and no one's paying attention to what's going on with the Epstein case. But that could just be a wild goose chase.
Remember, the Epstein case is Democrat fuel to go after President Trump, which they pull out occasionally.
Wait a minute, didn't Donald Trump fuel that case for 4 years?
Yeah, but we're talking about present day, Leo, and how the media somehow sweep things under the rugs and pull it out as needed. So now Epstein is somewhat of an afterthought because the media is not putting it in your face repeatedly. Now, pertaining to the lady, remember, she's in my opinion, someone that facilitated and enabled this man's lifestyle. So to accuse her of anything that has to do with young people, like you alluded to earlier, I'm not sure is correct. And that,
you're not sure, but allow me to educate you. She was convicted of these things.
Okay.
She is serving 20 years she was serving 20 years in jail based off the conviction. In fact, she is the only person in the entire world convicted with Epstein. The only one. She wasn't.
Okay.
She was a co-conspirator. She was guilty. These girls said, these victims, these survivors said that she was as bad, if not worse, than Epstein. She was training 14-year-old girls how to give fellatio to Epstein. This woman is a monster that just got released on a work permit, or was about to be released on a work permit at a college to be around a bunch of young girls in an all-female prison where she's surrounded by nothing but girls. Some of them are mature women, others are going to be tenderonis, if you would, something for her to prey on.
God. Whew, I pray that we can get ourselves out of this situation and we talk about something else, because so far it's not high on the docket of what's going on in the grand scheme of things in this country, other than pissing. But we'll see.
I would say that's not true. I again utilize ChatGPT to organize the information by what is most highly spoken about in the media presently. This apparently is among the top 5 topics. So no, the world's definitely paying attention. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, do you have any closing comments on this before? But I mean, basically, Washington, D.C. is now, you ready for it? You ready for it? Here's the word no one's using, but this is the word. Actually, no. Here's how we're going to do this. Here's how we're going to do this. You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to share screen. You ready?
Sure, let's do it.
All right. Let's share. Sharing is caring. I asked, what is a police state? It is maximized. What is a police state? What is a police state? A police state is a country where the government maintains strict control over its citizens' lives, often through the use of a powerful police force, including but not limited to, secret police to suppress dissent and limit freedoms. These governments often disregard or manipulate legal procedures and judicial review. Wow. Any of that sound familiar? Police state.
It sounds just like Nazi and authoritarian and dictatorship, all those colorful buzzwords that to the common man, if you will, it doesn't matter because it's above their pay grade and it's not using everyday language. Now, having said that,
well, I'm putting it into the lexicon. I am putting it into the lexicon. It is now a police state. Please have a way. It is now. And I'm again. This is for educational purpose only. Here's the education. I used to be a teacher. I can educate you behind. We are now in a police, especially DC and California, because that is the definition of the word, in a police state. And he's threatening to put New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Illinois into police states as well. Fire away. I am listening.
Well, guess what? In police states, you don't really have the freedom of speech, do you? These states do.
That I didn't see that in the definition. You're putting that out there. I didn't see that. Did you? That's not in the definition of the word.
Well, let's just say that, in my opinion, these are not police states because, as you can see, local citizens' qualitative data are actually happy the way Donald Trump is handling things.
Absolutely not. Apparently, you haven't been paying attention to the numbers. He is under, the Republican Party is now under. That is not what it is, not anymore. The things have gotten so bad because of the price of things that now he's under. But we can have that conversation another time. I don't want to stray too far. So apparently, being in a police state, the country is not liking what they're seeing, but it is not distracting from the fact that he's trying to hide from the Epstein files and people are following it. I mean, you think it's a coincidence? Do you honestly think it's a coincidence that he sent the military in and took over the police force from Washington D.C. one day, and the very next day he tries to slip in a work permit release for Ghislaine Maxwell? You think that's a coincidence? Do you honestly expect the people, the viewers, the listeners to believe that?
Well, I do agree. It would appear to be politically motivated and political expediency. So, yes, I think so that President Trump did do this or his team did this in order to make sure the DC situation overshadowed this Epstein stuff, which the public is slowly losing interest in because it's not in their face 1,000 times by the mainstream media and beyond.
Well, your wishful thinking of it losing steam is not happening. As a matter of fact, to my surprise, I can't believe that it's still there, but we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't one of the top news articles, because again, it's listed by order of what's most in the news. The only people not talking about it is Fox.
Okay.
No,
Let's see.
I paid attention. They're not talking about it. That's the only people not talking about it. They're talking about other things that are not there. Anyway, I'm going to sign out from here. Any closing comments?
No, okay. Well, that's it for this episode. Hopefully, we have some more good news about the Trump administration next time.
This is Leo and Dion signing out.